Recording.
Hello, hello. This is a summer version of Ignacy smiling and happy. Good morning.
Wow.
Corey Thompson, smiling but half awake.
And this is Stephen Bonacore, the Podfather of gaming. You are listening to Board Games Insider, episode 382, and we're recording this on August 12th, 2025. Board Games Insider, powered by Board Game Geek. Gentlemen, I love seeing all of us here. And yeah, Ignacy, uncharacteristically happy this morning. That's kind of strange. Maybe you should tell us why, Ignacy.
Yeah, I don't have a post-flying trauma after coming from Gen Con
He's, he's
and
not
no jet lag.
traumatized.
Yeah, things are being absolutely amazing here in Poland. It's summer, it's beautiful weather. We can finally discuss weather once a while. I'm with my wife in my our cottage house, just resting,
Oh.
chilling, playing board games, and just having fun.
Is Portal Games on hiatus on holiday right
They
now?
they they are back from the vacation on Monday. They were back from vacation on Monday. I'm still on vacation, but it's great. And for us at Portal Games USA, for our international viewers and listeners, things are going pretty awesome because finally this amazing game, Age of Galaxy, made it to the warehouse,
Yes. Yes.
and we are starting
Hey.
a distribution process. I have a Skype call with PSI this week scheduled to reschedule the street day, to reschedule the whole launch because of the delay. But a reminder for everyone else who is listening, you can pre-order directly from Ignacy, directly from Portal Games. Go to our website and give us your orders. We are going to discuss profits of Asmodee in a few minutes. You can make my profits a little bit better if you order from Portal Games directly. So let's improve on that. And being serious, something absolutely extraordinary happened at Gen Con because IGN.com made, as always, as every year, the summary of the Gen Con, and they posted about 10 best games of Gen Con 2025, and Age of Galaxy made the list, even though the game was not at the show, even though we
Fantastic.
had no product, but it made it to the best games of the show. I talked with Charlie Teal, who was writing this piece, and he said that he visited our booth. There was a demo. He just sat, played the game, was blown away, and here we are. He made it
Yeah.
to the piece.
Charlie.
So without the product at the show,
Yeah.
we made it to the top 10 games,
Charlie's
and
a
I'm very, very
Charlie's
proud.
a great guy, and I'm glad he got a chance to play it and
That
enjoy
was
it. That's
super,
great.
super unexpected and cool, even after this Gen Con. As for the business side of the company, we have Narushima Hex Battle, our next product. It was planned to be released around June, but with all the delays and etc., it's shipping to America right now. It should be in America in the last days of August. It will be our September release. So Narushima Hex Battle is a two-player starter for Narushima Hex because we are celebrating 20 years of the game, and we will be in Vegas with champion of Poland playing Narushima Hex. We will be discussing it later this year, I guess, but we are sending from Poland the champion of Narushima Hex to kick asses of American players.
You
It's
mean
gonna be
at the
fun.
World Series of Board Gaming, you're gonna have the
We
championship?
decided, yes, he will be with the best players from America, and he'll be just demolishing them, and I can't wait for that.
Someone might have negotiated that, to get
There
that
was
to
there was
happen.
some person involved. For all of you who wanted to try my very old game, that turned 11 years old, Imperial Settlers is finally in beta at Board Game Arena. So you can go to Board Game Arena to the beta
Nice.
version and
Oh,
play,
awesome.
see if there are any issues and errors to spot. I played it, and to be honest, after many, many years going back to the game, now playtesting on BGA, is a cool game. I'm really proud of this design. It's an old game, but it's still super awesome. So if you haven't played Imperial Settlers because you are in the industry for not very long, Board Game Arena Imperial Settlers is a freaking amazing game. And that being said, yeah, I'm in a very, very good mood and things are going amazing.
That is
Oh,
great.
that's amazing.
Corey.
Well, The chaos is starting to wind down from Gen Con, where of course I won Best of Gen Con
It's
2025.
showing this silly piece of paper
Best.
card stock that says he won a Best of Gen Con award. I don't know.
I did.
Again,
I did.
I'm gonna point this out that the man sitting on that side of the screen, Ignacy, or below, depending on which way his thing formats, has more awards than I
It,
have games sitting behind me right now. So let's
it's true, but I won
put you
Best of
won.
Gen Con
Put you won Best of Gen Con.
2025. I won Best New Owner. So I'm very excited.
there, there was so many in the competition there.
So, but things are winding down after Gen Con. I've been playing a whole bunch of the games that I got at Gen Con, having a really good time with Up or Down, a really light card game from Capstone. Uh, to me, it fits that niche where Kabanga sat, maybe even Llama. It's light, can put it in front of anybody. It plays at a whole bunch of player counts. Really fun. Been playing Beasts, which is a nice cooperative, number-driven card game. There's
Yeah,
Up or Down.
yeah, I have a copy of Up or Down also, which Corey and I got when we went to the Capstone
Yep.
Feuerlandspiele event at Gen Con for Sanctuary, the Arc Nova game. So yes, I got it.
Hello,
Since you
hello. I have a question. Is this Japanese game?
was it originally
Uh,
a Japanese
I
game?
don't know. Don't get confused with waiting in line for the elevator,
This is yeah, yeah. I
which is
meant
the
that.
Sashi and Sashi.
Yes, this is
It's
something
not
different.
Oh
that.
no, this
It's
Okay,
is
different.
this is Kramer and Kiesling, so absolutely not
Yeah.
a Japanese game.
That's
okay.
right. That's right. Because I keep saying it has a little bit of a six nymph feel to me, and
Oh,
that makes sense.
hold on one second. This is very important. Paula, this is what we're playing later. Right here. Right here. Corey said it's great. We got it at Gen Con for free.
2 to 6 players, elegant. It has the whole you have to play a card, but there's only one place the card can get played. It's a cool game. But I am actually getting ready for another travel day tomorrow, and it's tomorrow morning, even earlier than this podcast. I'm going to
No.
fly to Seattle to visit friends and eat fancy food and drink fancy wine and play heavy games.
As a reminder to our fans out there, Corey gets up at 6 a.m. local time, maybe even earlier sometimes, to be on this podcast with me and Ignacy, who's right. We are 9 full hours apart on normal circumstances. So thank
We
you
just like
again.
to cover the entire planet.
The greatest
Well,
moment of all time was when I was in Asia and we were literally like nine, almost exactly on 1/3 of each side of the planet. That was crazy.
that
So
was insane.
yeah.
Yeah, and then upcoming, so I'm going to head to Seattle, and then after Seattle, there's going to be Orlando, where I'm going to visit buddies. Yes,
Who might be
not,
there? Okay.
oh, not you,
We're
not
having a
you.
little event hanging out in Orlando, just chilling,
Right after
gaming.
Orlando, I'm going to head to CuseCon in Syracuse. It's going to be my first time at CuseCon. It really lovely show that I've heard so much good things about. And then not too soon after that, Essen. I'm going to start my whole whirlwind Europe trip to Essen, which is going to involve Iceland and Finland and Belgium this year. So I'm really excited about all those trips. So it starts tomorrow.
Wow. That
I
sounds
know I know at least one hardcore fan and listener from Belgium, Kerdy. Greetings to you. You are probably listening. Who will love to meet you. So you will probably get some messages because he's a hardcore fan of the show.
Sure.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, you better go look him up then. So over here at the Podfather of Gaming, the first thing I would be remiss not to mention that tonight, oh, yeah, that wasn't quite on tune. That was a
No,
little,
that was pretty bad.
come on, that wasn't, Phil, I need a band behind me to do Phil Collins. Anyway, the One Ring, second edition. We're restarting the campaign, which had a little false start. But Corey, Paula, myself, Alex Schmidt from oh my God.
Stonemeyer
From
Games.
Stonemeyer. How can I have a brain? How can I have brain farts like that? Alex Schmidt from
We are
Stonemeyer
getting
Games.
older. That's simple.
Yeah, there you go. And it's early in the morning here too, sort
And
of.
Maggie Ryan.
And Maggie Ryan. We are getting to play the One Ring second edition together. Sort of a session one restart for this new campaign. Some of the characters that we bring, Corey and I are bringing back our characters that in the fall start, and then we're gonna. And then some other people are bringing in. So Maggie and Paula will have new characters, and Ignacy is showing the Polish edition, the Polish version of the Moria rules.
That's
and
what Moria looks like without vowels.
That's great. So we're gonna restart tonight, and that's gonna be great. We're not gonna be playing every week or even every other week, it doesn't look like, because of our schedules, but we're gonna get this rolling because we're all committed to doing this. Very excited about that. My trip schedule is pretty packed as well. Literally tomorrow, that would be August 13th, I'm taking a short cruise without Paula. She's very jealous. She's over there. Jeff Anderson, who runs BGG at Sea, he runs the Podfather cruise. He runs his own Captain Quick's Gaming Adventure cruises. He got invited to go on the largest, newest ship in the world, the Star of the Seas, which is leaving out of Orlando on a trade event. In other words, he got invited for free to go because he's a travel agent and he brings hundreds of people onto these ships. And since his wife couldn't go, I'm going to go with him. So that's going to be awesome. So we're doing that 3-day cruise. You'll definitely see some postings from me on how this ship looks, which is going to be amazing. Right after that, going back to New Jersey to see Mom. Paul is coming. My crazy brother that I always talk about is coming with his wife, and my other two brothers that live in New Jersey. We're all going to get together, have the family together, and do some stuff together, which is going to be great. That's next week. Then from there, Dice Tower Retreat in Orlando. Corey, are you doing that one too, or no?
I am not going to be able to
that.
make it to Dice Tower
Okay.
Retreat. I've gone. It's an amazing show. Just it's the ultimate constant game playing with friends show.
Well,
it's nothing like it.
Sounds good to me. And then basically, I will come home and then go back, and then I'll see Corey for that event that I'm doing again with some friends in Orlando. From there, immediately after the World Series of Board Gaming in Las Vegas, you'll see plenty of postings from me from there, especially for Ignacy's stuff, to give him some love and some coverage of what's going on. And then after that, Essen and I'll see both of these guys with a brief trip beforehand to Amsterdam in the Netherlands. I've never been except for the airport. Now I'm actually going to spend a couple of days there because, well, hey, I'm in Europe. I might as well. And from that, let's get over to the event deck. All right, gentlemen, we amazingly don't have a huge amount of news, and the stuff that we have, we're gonna go quickly on for the most part. So we'll get a lot of questions coming up soon too. But the first thing, excuse me, is Asmodee's first quarter 2025 results. Publicly held company now. They have to put their results out there, so it's really good and interesting to talk about them. And why first quarter? Because they're on that weird-ish cycle. Their year starts in April and then ends at the end of March of the following year. So their first quarter results are in, and I'll give you the numbers, but the percentages are always the most important thing. Their net sales were 349 million euro, which is a really big number. That's net sales, and that's a 32% growth year over year and 34% organic growth. So in other words, from inside the company, they are growing faster than acquisitions. Games that are specifically from Asmodee were down slightly, but games from their partners were 50% higher. And then others, they said, were a little lower. So these are really, really good numbers. Their adjusted EBITDA, that's basically net profit, let's just talk about it that way, was basically 49 million euros, which is essentially with a margin, an EBITDA margin of 11.4%. A true adjusted net P&L, 13.7 million euros. That's and the earnings per share are coming out at 0.06 euros. Free cash flow, 24.7 million euros. All these numbers are amazing. We all wish we had these numbers. So the bottom line here is that the big guy is doing very well. Hopefully, that's going to continue rising the entire industry as well.
The bottom line is visit portalgamesus.com, I think.
Go to portalgamesusa.com, portalgamesus.com, and check out Age of Galaxy, of course. And while you're at it, you can go to play2zgames.com.
Yeah, the numbers, but being serious, the numbers are insane. Like the growth of 30%. Like we discussed business over these many years, and we were discussing what the average business in any industry basically is growing. Yes, and if business is growing by 10%, this is like insanely well. So I really don't understand these numbers. They are like insanely good. Like out of the mind.
Yeah, if you think about it, right? So net sales at 350 million euro. I mean, they're and growth of 32%. They're escalating these sales at a tremendous rate. I mean, I talk about them as they are a $4 billion company, like their value, because we base that based on previous sales, right? And their continued growth, and now they've been spun off from Embracer and all that. This is really good stuff for them. And I think, as I've said in the past, a rising tide floats all boats. So hopefully, as they get bigger and better and do things, we're all going to get rise with them. So very happy about that. So the next thing is in the area of the not good news of the industry, but maybe with some happy endings in there. We have two things. First of all, Devir was embroiled in a controversy regarding their game Ace of Spades. And this was over backlash due to controversial art. Corey, why don't you take some of this?
So Ace of Spades was one of the highly anticipated games of the show. It's a solo or two-person Balatro style card battler using standard poker cards. The art and theming of the game, the company had said, was based on dark westerns, especially films such as Django Unchained. Unfortunately, they didn't think it through, and the artwork had some really inappropriate artwork. There was a card representing a slave master and a card representing an escaped slave. And the cards and the abilities of the cards were really inappropriate for games in this time. So Devir responded very quickly, which was really good. So what I like is their statement. There's a principle. This is Devir on Board Game Wire said, there's a principle we hold on to in moments like this. Never attribute to malice what can be explained by stupidity. It does not excuse the error, but reminds us that harm can be done and was done without ill intent. That harm still matters, and it's our responsibility to face it fully. This is a really important concept. Mistakes get made, and you should not be judged on the mistake being made. You should be judged on your response to it. And they are making a strong and I think noble response. They are recalling all copies of Ace of Spades. They're redoing the art. They are doing everything within their power to make this right.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly the right type of response. You accept responsibility. You say, yes, this happened. We are wrong. And stupidity, not malice, but no excuse. That's just the general way it happened. And now we will make it right by doing this. In this case, recalling all games, changing the art, putting the game back out again. So I applaud them, obviously, for the way it ends up. Of course, we hope that in the future, someone with a brain, or they even call themselves stupid, so somebody smart will be looking at this stuff and saying, this is not appropriate artwork.
Along these same lines, and we have to mention this as well.
Yes.
The other controversy that surrounded Gen Con was Czech Games Edition had announced their new game was going to be Harry Potter Codenames, and the community rose up because of J.K. Rowling's stance on trans rights. Spoiler alert, not a good stance. Um, and CGE responded with a statement that said, "We had no idea. Let us think about this, and we will come up with a response." And that one wasn't accepted too well by the community, but there was this idea that a large company with a lot of people and a big IP and a big product needed some time to figure out. Well, CGE actually announced what their response is going to be only a couple days ago, and it is above and beyond. So CGE has said uh, they gave a description that they had done wrong, and this was uh, they did not anticipate this sort of response, and they want to make it better. So their response says, quote, "With the above in mind, and after many heartfelt and vital discussions, both internally and with members of the affected community, we have decided to donate 100% of the profit from this game to appropriate charitable organizations. We will ensure that an amount equal to or greater than the fee paid to the license at this product will go directly to organizations that provide support for the trans community."
That is great.
So this is from CGE's Facebook post, and it is a long statement, which I won't read the full contents of, but the trans community and the LGBT community are very, very important to me, and I do feel this is a good response to a very poor decision. And I think in the general community, this product will sell tremendously, which is unfortunate, but it will generate huge amounts of money towards charities.
Yeah.
So
It's
I hope that a little bit of good can be done
right.
from this.
It's interesting to know that this is not actually a new product. I don't know if, and I didn't realize this. The product had come out a while ago, but CGE is now revitalizing new art, new everything for a bunch of their products, including their mainline Codenames product. They're re-envisioning them.
There is a bigger thing, if I can add here. So for years, CGE was licensing out Codenames to different companies. So there was Codenames Disney, Codenames Harry Potter, etc., etc. And now they are changing the strategy, and they are getting these games back in-house. So they are responsible for the whole product, and both in terms of the components, in terms of the words on the cards, because it is very important to have the right words, so the game works. So I had a great talk with Petr, the owner of CG. I think it was 2 years ago, when he was telling me about the changes, how they will approach the Codenames. Of course, neither me, neither him were seeing that in the future there will be a scandal involved with Harry Potter. But now I'm talking about the general change of strategy. They're bringing the game back in-house.
And and to continue my thought, so we probably wouldn't have heard anything about it unless they did this. But the fact that they came back, and then when people started complaining, their first response was, we'll just say it was poor. They just said, well, this is what it is. And it didn't go well. Their first response.
It was a very short response. We did wrong. We don't know what we're doing now. We need to think about this. And in comparison to the Devir response, which was an immediate, this is what we're doing.
Right. Well,
yeah.
When I'm sorry, let me just finish this. The way I think about it is that well, sure, it takes time to make certain decision points. When something like this comes up, I would consider this an all hands on deck moment. Right, if you understand, right? You bring together the principals of the company, everybody in the management team, and you say, we got this issue, we got to solve this issue, and we're not moving until this issue is solved. They took too much time to address it. In the end, giving all of their profit away, I think that's astonishing, and they're going to give it all to trans rights, LGBTQX rights groups. I think that's fantastic. Again, hopefully this is a stupidity, not malice instance, but it's good that it happened this way.
Be a Davis advocate, because of course I don't know, but the delay that you just mentioned might come due to the fact that it's IP and they have to consult with the owner of the rights. Like I know that when I was working with Legendary on Dune and when I was working with Warner Brothers on Batman, I had a contract, obviously, and I had no single point of posting anything about this IP without consultation. So it may be the fact that they had all hands on board immediately and then waited 1 week for the owner of the Harry Potter rights to accept the official statement. So these IP games, IP products, there is contracts are very long. There is a lot of problems that you can get into if you break the contract. So once again, I don't know what was the reason why it took them so long to reply, but my guess is they replied immediately to Harry Potter and waited a couple of days for the official response.
Very possible, very possible. All right, now getting on to other interesting true industry news, back and to CMON, who we have been reported on again and again and again, who have been having some problems. CMON's long-serving chief financial officer and the company's secretary are the latest to resign from the financially troubled CMON business. This is reported by Board Game Wire, and I'll take it. Board game crowdfunding giant CMON has lost 2 more long-serving senior executives amid its fight to come back from its 2024 losses and drastic downsizing spurred by U.S. tariff volatility. CFO Ko Zhang Kai and company secretary Eng Sao Mei have both handed in their resignations 5 months after senior manager David Preddy stepped down as the chief operating officer for the business. Ko has been with the company since 2014, so he's obviously been a long-serving person at the company. And it doesn't give a lot of information other than after careful consideration, I've decided to step down. It might have been one of those things. This is kind of the way sometimes that these statements are made, that they can't afford to pay some of these people anymore. So they said, hey, why don't you give us your resignation versus us terminating you, which doesn't look as good.
Yeah.
So, and to summarize, CMON revealed in April that it had slumped to a $3 million loss last year, almost double its total profits from the previous 3 years combined. None of this is good news for the financially troubled CMON. 2 more items of note, neither of which are good as well. And the first one we're going to go in, both of these we're going to go in very briefly. Funko lost over $40 million in Q2 of this year. And they've got what is called an going concern warning from their auditors. Just briefly, I'll summarize this ICV2 article. Funko, whose CEO, which came from WotC, had just left the company only a few months back, and they continue to lose money at an incredible rate. Their auditors gave them what's called this going concern notice, which means that it is unclear if they'll be able to continue as an ongoing company over time. They're no longer in board games, but I think it was important, since we've talked about Funko so much and their changes and the new CEO that came and left so quickly, to mention this. So geeky culture, all those little dolls that they put out may be in jeopardy, or all this may be in jeopardy over time. Final news article, because we can't go a show without mentioning Diamond Comics. Almost did it. We almost did it this time. And this is also going to be brief. Diamond Comics post-bankruptcy debt goes unpaid. So here's the summary from the ICV2 article. Diamond Comics invoices in the post-bankruptcy are not being paid in total. Now, Universal, who are the new owners of Alliance Game Distributors, right, who were part of the bankruptcy, but they've been bought out, is paying all of the invoices, of course. And there was a little bit of a interview again with the CEO of Universal. So they're doing their job. And in fact, they're paying all their invoices that were even due pre-bankruptcy filing. But but it's which is part of the purchase price by Alliance. However, the invoices between the bankruptcy filing and the sale to Universal are kind of in limbo, and those are the responsibility of Diamond Comics. And Universal's even reached out to bankruptcy people and to the current Diamond Comics and say, you guys need to do this. And they said that they're raising cash to do it. So more and more and more interesting things coming out of the Diamond Comics bankruptcy. But as far as we can see here, Universal, the new owners of Alliance Game Distributors, that's the core thing that's important to us here. They're doing the right thing by all of the people who they are selling games for. All right. With all of that, let's get over to strategy and tactics. All right. So, Ignacy, we actually saved this question because it was here from last week, but you aren't here. And it's a question for you, Ignacy. It's from Kevin Wardener. He's at Jerkules. We love Jerkules. And he asks, I believe I heard him mention, Ignacy that is, that he plays in a Blood Bowl league and was curious what teams are his favorite. And will he be going to the Blood Bowl World Cup in Malta in 2027? Ignacy, if you go to that, I'm going to be there
I'm not
with
going
you.
to World Cup in Malta. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay.
And yes, but I no longer play a league because it finished and I haven't started a new one. But yes, I played Blood Bowl casually. I have a team of dwarves. I have a team of undead. I have a team of halflings. I'm preparing to have a team of chaos dwarfs. So yes, I'm deep in a Blood Bowl. I love it. I have many teams. It's brilliant game, and it's very casual, very fun, very hectic. Lots of randomness, fun moments. I strongly recommend this to anyone who listens.
Very, very cool. I think you should go to the World Cup and I'll meet you there. Then, I'll carry your bag, your luggage or something. No, okay. David Boyd from Wales, he's at Davy Boyd. He says, on your travels, I'm sure you walked into your fair share of FLGSs all over the world. I'm curious to know what makes a good, friendly local game store in your opinion. Also, on the flip side, what immediately turns you off from a game store? I'm also interested to hear what is the most unique and memorable things you've seen at a friendly local game store. Anybody here want to start that one? It's a very good question. I can say,
I want to say to everyone who is outside America that in America, sorry to say that, but in America they have the best game stores ever. Because of the space, because of the epicness, because of the rooms, etc. Like I visited, of course, game stores in many countries in Europe, and when I visited stores in America, I was just blown away. Corey just mentioned this flying tomorrow to Seattle. In Seattle, I saw one of the best, if not the best, game store ever. I think it was Card Kingdom. I don't remember what's the famous
Mox Boarding House.
Mox
Amazing.
Yeah, Mox is great.
Great store.
I was absolutely mind blown when I visited this in 2016. So for the question of what's important in these stores, lights, space, air, exhibition of the product, and in America, in many cases, guys, you do it right. Congratulations.
Yeah, for me, it's not just inventory, but the kind of inventory. They've got that mix of new games, or at least they know about the brand new games, because our industry does tend to move minute to minute. But at the same time, they'll have some old classics and some things you might not have ever heard of. I also really love local game stores that have used or consignment sections. And sometimes you find some real gems in these used game sections. Um, and then just general friendliness. I've been in too many game stores where you walk in and they notice you're there, but it's like any other retail space where they let you wander around, and if you have a question, they'll try to answer it, but for the most part, they don't interact with you. Just a shout out to Goblin Brothers in Santa Rosa is really an amazing game store with a really lovely inventory, friendly people. It's really good. And of course, the gold standard friendly local game store is relatively close to me, and it's Black Diamond Games in Concord, Walnut Creek. It's kind of written the book of how to run a game store. Literally, there are books written by the owner on how to run a game store.
Well, those are some interesting books, that's for sure. Quick shout out to Paul Butler out at Games and Such in the Baltimore area, Glen Burnie, I think to be exact, Maryland. Uh,
Yeah,
Travis Severance over at Millennium Games up in Rochester. These are unbelievable stores.
massive, wonderful stores.
Saw Paul at Gen Con. Always great seeing him. To me, it's not nearly about the inventory that's being carried at all. I want to see a store that I think Ignacy mentioned is bright, lit, has space to game in, has everything there that if I want to play games, I can bring my own or I can use some of theirs. I can eat some food. I mean, that to me is big. I mean, keep me in the store if I'm getting hungry, why don't make me leave? Have some snacks there. It doesn't have to be extravagant, but I mean, a place like Mock's Boarding House, I remember had like a restaurant. I mean, it has a
Yeah.
restaurant. You could order amazing food and then go back and game. And so to me, it's about that invitation, right? To be there with them.
The
If you
friendliness is certainly an important part, but I can't understate the inventory. I still remember going to Viking Hobby in Sacramento when I was new in the industry, and it was a tiny, tiny store with literally stacks, floor to ceiling, of board games. And the owners were so knowledgeable. If you said, "Oh, do you have this old game?" They immediately would go, "It's right there." And it'd be in the middle of one of the stacks, and they knew
I
exactly where it was.
Yeah, not. I mean, again, I guess everybody has a different opinion. That's not nearly. I mean, that's cool. If you want old games, go to um, the Complete Strategist in New York City. I mean, they've got games there that are still like sitting
Yep.
there for 40 years. Literally, I'm not kidding. 40 years ago, you'll find it's not. No offense to the people who own the place, it's not a great store. It's like tight little aisles, and there's like one place you can play, um, but they've
But it is
got
so
old
famous. It
stuff.
is so famous that when I was visiting New York, I went there
Yeah,
just to visit
it's
because
Oh,
it's
sure.
iconic.
it may be the most famous game store in the world, or at least one
Yeah.
of them. The Complete Strategist in New York City is that one. But anyway, great question about like what makes a great game store, and certainly I think we brought up some good things there. Glenn Schlegel, he's Power Trout. Thank you, Glenn. Another question from Glenn. If a designer gets their game back and he wants to pitch to new publishers, what happens to the art that the publisher invested in? Does the new publisher license the art from the old publisher or the artist, assuming they don't want to start from scratch with the new art? That's a great question. So I assume that he's saying the game has either come out or it was
Oh,
close
yeah.
to coming out, and the first publisher made some art, but they either didn't do the game or the game ends. What does this new publisher do? Let's start with Ignacy as a publisher here. Ignacy,
Yeah, I
what
have
do
an
you normally
example.
think would happen?
Exactly. Example from this year. We are releasing this the game called Race to Berlin. This is our war game. It was released like 10 years ago by this small Polish publisher, and it has some art already. So we signed a contract with the designer to publish the game, and then I reached the old publisher and I bought for cash the art pieces because I didn't need to to order the new artwork. For Age of Galaxy, discuss it in this podcast every single week. We also used some of the old artwork, so we are licensing it, and then we also got a new art did especially for the Portal Games edition. So it is like in every single business, every situation is different. Every time you have a different deal, but yes, it happens. If there is already artwork in existence and if it is good, I will negotiate to get it.
And for instance, with Animal Rescue Team, Play Z's Matt Leacock game, which is going to come out this year as an Essen release. I can't wait to talk about that a little bit more when it comes out. That game at first was with Asmodee, and they had started down the artwork path, and when they didn't do it, when they said, well, we're not going to do the game, and we got the game from Matt, we just bought the art. Asmodee was very reasonable too. We said, hey, can we buy that art? It looks so good. And it's great for a publisher who has this stuff and basically will never use it again to take it off their books, right?
Sure.
They just sell this stuff that they can't use that they paid for at the cost, maybe, or even less, whatever number it is. I don't even know if they what price we got it at, but it was a good price. I know that, and it worked out great for everybody.
And I know a lot of designers who will have a game that came and went, or it had its period of time, and then it reverts back. Often the contracts will say if it's not for sale for a certain amount of time, it reverts back to the designer or something that was in negotiation. It seems more often than not the publisher will want to separate from the previous edition, so they'll make their own art. It's a business decision to try to make sure this is a new edition of the game. It's been worked on again, so you give it a nice new shiny coat of paint.
Very cool. Glenn has another question, and then we'll take this one. I've been pitching to publishers. Obviously, Glenn's a designer. He doesn't have a designer tag, so I didn't know that. I've been pitching to publishers recently. Some are new companies that I've never heard of with a tiny catalog. Some are industry giants and release 100 products a year, many of which I'm at least passingly familiar with. But there are some companies with dozens of hobby games in their catalog where I have somehow not heard of a single one of their titles. Questions. How much should I weigh a publisher's ability to cut through the noise and get noticed? Are larger publishers with lots of releases a risky bet because of an individual title might disappear in the flood of press releases? Am I worried about nothing? Very good questions about how a designer makes a decision. Anybody want to take that one?
Of course,
Yeah.
just very short. Of course, you need to have a comfort to have this choice. Like you have to have three publishers interested in your game, then you can start choosing which one is the best. For young designers, if you have any publisher interested in your game, you most likely will sign the game. But I think that he is super right that the ability for the publisher to cut through the noise is super crucial these days, because we discussed this in many times in this podcast. Most of the games released these days are good. And now you will have a massive hit if you have a publisher who can cut through the noise.
And I think it has more to do with individuality between publishers than it does with large publisher versus small publisher. Going with a large publisher has pluses and minuses, and going with a tiny publisher has pluses and minuses. And it's about that relationship and what is the publisher going to do for you. Some of the small publishers are hungry for a good title. They will put out tons of effort. They will cut through the noise. They will do amazing things for you. Whereas a large publisher might kind of let it go a little bit or not. They've got the money to do marketing. So it's much more an individual publisher thing than a size of the company.
And my final comment, all this is correct. My final comment is you should always hope that you've got three publishers that are interested in your game, because if you do, hey, then you can have a little leverage in the deal. I mean, in general terms, the person, the people, the company that will do the best job for you, by you, is the one to go with. The one who gives you the most feel for, oh, they really are passionate about this. I think that's the best one to go with. Are you looking to make a fortune, Glenn? Anybody out there as a designer? You're probably in the wrong industry, because unless you get that massive hit, fortunes are not going to be made. And until you get a number of games under your belt, it's really hard to make any real money in the industry. Get them out there, get your names out there, get your games out there, pick the one that feels the best for you. That's the way to go. And now we go to play testing. Corey, you gave us a simple, classic question last week. What was it?
So, what is your personal grail game? What is the one title that if you see it at a flea market, it just might make you pee a little bit?
Very good.
We had such interesting answers to this. I really enjoyed this one.
Kind of all over the place, which is good, right? So
that's what I was hoping for.
Everybody's Grail is a little bit different. Peter Haraldson, he's at Pops. As others have already said, so a few people have said this one, glory to Rome, but I
Yep.
still think I'd be able to control my bladder. Yeah, I know a couple of people were not happy about the whole peeing thing, but hey, some people might get a little nervous when they see such a thing.
So, Board Game Fangirl at Board Game Fangirl. I want a copy of St. Petersburg at a reasonable price. That is a great game, and it's a little hard to find nowadays. I saw versions of St. Petersburg and Bruges and some of these old classic Euro titles showing up in the answers, which made me happy.
One of the ones that I certainly always thought about as a Grail game for many people, Star Wars: The Queen's Gambit. Chris Dupree.
Yes, that's a classic.
Chris Dupree mentions that one, and he says, yeah, he probably would pee, or he says, I got to bring my Depends underwear if he finds that one. I have a copy, which is great. I got that one really early on when I saw how amazing the game was, the components in that game. It's a great game about a bad movie, I guess. Not a fan of that particular Star Wars movie.
It was redone as Star Wars Risk, but it just doesn't have the same panache.
What else do we have? Marco Dobrodnik had to, from Croatia, he had to mention War of the Ring, the anniversary edition, not the collector's edition that's sitting over there, but the anniversary edition.
Just had to throw that in.
Yes, I had to throw that one in. Ignacy, did anything here spark your interest at all?
I have a different answer. I see, and many of almost all of the games that are listed, besides Crazy Lord of the Rings Collector's Edition, but all other games, either I had in my collection, either I have in my collection. So I didn't know that I was, touching so many treasures that I could cash them so easily. Seriously, most of these games either I owned and gave away as a gift or whatever. I'm really surprised.
Obviously, the three of us are in a whole different place than the average person that even is a listener of ours who's truly, anybody who listens to us, I assume, is deeply into the hobby. Why the heck would you want to listen to us three idiots talk about the inside of the industry unless you're really, really a serious gamer and stuff like that?
But I'm charismatic as all get out.
Yeah, but but most of these people who are really interested and into the industry still don't have some of these Grail games. I mean, people don't have War of the Ring collectors or anniversary. They don't have Star Wars, the Queen's Gambit. There's so many of these games that we kind of take for granted because we all have owned them for so long because we've been in this for 20 years or longer. Right. So it's an interesting point of view.
You're absolutely right that we forgot that for us is like our life and we are doing it for 4 years. And for many of our listeners, they are in the hobby for 5 years or 7 years or 10 years. And they want to catch up and find these old gems. And for us, we remember when they were released at the SL,
and it makes me,
yes, I have it, whatever.
It makes me excited to look at them again. These games that have been sitting on the shelf for a while and get them out and play them. Kevin Martin wrote Mechs versus Minions. I've always wanted to play this game. If I found it at a flea market, I might have to change my undergarment.
There you go.
And I have heard rumor it's coming back.
Oh, really? Oh, I did not know that one. That's interesting. Chris Holm mentions Food Chain Magnet. Again, I have it. I played it once. I don't even believe my copy has ever been played. That's how long ago.
Well, the new version, the new version in cooperation between Lucky Duck and Splotter is coming soon.
Oh,
it's coming along really well. It was a successful Kickstarter a few years ago.
And the regular version published by Portal Games in Poland. So if you learn how to speak Polish, you can get it very, very easily.
Very easily.
Easy.
It's right now in Ignacy's warehouse. Oh, again, there are really a great number of differences here. James Thompson, no relation to Thompson Corey. Space Hulk Death Angel is his answer.
Look at this. Look at this.
Uh-oh, Ignacy off screen, coming back. Here he comes.
Right there.
Oh, what is that one, Ignacy? That is it?
It is Space Hulk, the card game.
Oh, it's in Polish. I mean, my Polish is not very good.
Of course it's in Polish. Come on. But I'm serious, I have these games, like this insanely fun question and answers.
It is, right. I mean, but it's interesting to hear the people, right? I mean,
Yeah,
we're
that's
we're
awesome.
we're men of the people, right? We're here for them, and we're hearing what they want. And maybe, hey, maybe we some of these games we bring back. Who knows if things go. So, Corey, you also gave us, of course, next week's question. Please note that we're now running out of questions, so you better
Oh
start
man.
adding.
So you guys have to write some
Yeah,
questions.
and I think that's you. So,
I think I've done my share.
you have. What do you want to give us for this week?
So this was just something that was bumping around in my head. This was a curiosity on my point. Do you engage in what I call anal retentive shuffling? That is, when you're shuffling cards, do you worry about the orientation of the cards as well as mixing them up well? A lot of people, when they shuffle, especially if they do an American style riffle shuffle, they might worry about keeping the cards 180 degrees oriented to each other. I
So,
have never been concerned about this. My cards are a mess.
so this is a funny thing. Well, my short answer is no, not really. But all gamers have got this little, at least a little bit of OCD. And so you see cards, and most cards are not fully symmetrical, right? The name of the card, the name of the game is like on the back, and it is only read from one orientation, right? So when you take them out, I will occasionally make sure that the name stays the same as I riffle, and then
That
I'll do
sounds
it
like a
again.
yes from you.
So but it's not truly a yes, and I don't really like. And if I miss, I don't care. I'm not going to go back and change orientation after I started my shuffling. So it's a very interesting question. I think my answer is a qualified no. Ignacy, do you care when you shuffle cards? What
I'm
orientation?
terrible and shuffling cards, which is my personal drama because for years I was a game master of the game Deadlands role-playing game, which is Western, and the game Deadlands role-playing game uses the deck of cards for mechanism. So me as a game master had to shuffle a lot, and I always wanted to do some tricks to impress my players that I'm a game master and I can do tricks. And I never learned a single trick. I'm terrible with cards, and I always felt very, very bad about that. So no, I don't care about I just pray to shuffle the cards. That's all I can do.
I'm always amazed that hardcore gamers can't shuffle cards well. Now, I've been able to riffle shuffle before I was in the hobby. I
I
always,
tried really.
yeah,
But I mean, riffle shuffles are not popular in Europe. Um,
I
it's a different style. There's either the Hindi slap shuffle or the overhand European shuffle. So,
they don't do nearly as well as the riffle shuffle. We all know that. This has been a proven scientific fact. I'll have Jeff Engelstein give us an exact
but a riffle
mathematical
doesn't.
state.
I know all the papers. It's a guy named Spirio Dragos who out of Stanford. Anyway, and the riffle shuffle doesn't do nearly as well as a true wash on a table, especially for decks of cards that are bigger than 52. But none of us will do a true wash.
No, a wash meaning you spread the cards out and you just
Yep.
kind of swim them together and you bring them back, swim them apart,
I
swim
love
them back.
I love in our podcast how we can change from the discussing how much Asmodee made money to how you should shuffle your cards.
Of course,
Like we cover a lot about
we
this industry.
cover a lot of ground here. So right now, as I speak, Ignacy is taking that question and he's going to put it in the guild in a new thread so that you can answer that question to us. And while he's doing that, we're going to go to the final scoring. Thank you all so much for listening and help us spread the word about this podcast by telling your friends to download Board Games Insider wherever they like to get their podcasts or watch Board Games Insider on the Podfather of Gaming YouTube channel. Do you want to be part of this podcast? You can. Go to the Guild on Board Game Geek. Make sure you're a member. Ask us questions for our strategy and tactics segment. Answer our question to you from the playtesting segment. It's easy. You're smart. You can do it. Help us out. Help us to help you. We are helping each other. And interact with us on social media. And it's the same handle all over the place, whether it's X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, and YouTube at Board Games Insider, Portal Games US, Podfather Gaming, Dice Tower Dish, Play2Z Games, and Above Board TV. Follow us on the social media of your choice, and you're speaking directly to us when you put things on those comments. And a special call out, of course, to the YouTube channels, which are the most important of all of that. Portal Games Studio, The Podfather of Gaming, and Above Board TV. We'd love to see you in person at an upcoming convention. So please, when you see us there, reach out and let's chat. I gave out a lot of cool coasters to people at Gen Con. Every time somebody said they engaged with me, I'm like, hey, you heard that on the show, so here you go. And I was giving them my indestructible vinyl coaster. So another 50 people have one of those right now. So please hang out with us. We love that. Board Games Insider was professionally edited by Jake Thompson. Thank you, Jake, for being part of the team. And that great voice you hear doing the intro, the outro, the in-between segments is that of Ray Greenlee. He can be contacted to do your voiceover work at raygreenleevoiceover.com. Gentlemen, this brings us to the end of another amazing episode with the three of us together. Someone has written something ridiculous here at the bottom. It has nothing whatsoever to do with board games, gaming, the hobby, or current world technology.
I just felt that it should be stated AOL is going to stop their dial-up service on September 30th, 2025.
Now, let's think about this statement, which I know I heard this too. I saw this yesterday, in fact. AOL still has a dial-up service?
It does, and it has nearly 300,000 subscribers.
Who would possibly be using this?
It's the sort of people who keep like 100 open tabs on their browser.
No, that has nothing to do with this nonsense. Corey is mocking me because I have a lot of open tabs. I was amazed when I read this. Paula showed it to me. They're stopping their dial-up service. Yeah.
They are.
What?
And people will complain.
Can we? What year is this again? This is 2025. I think the last time I dialed into an internet service provider might have been in around 1989. I don't know. I can't remember the last time I used dial-up service.
I remember using it in the early 70s.
It literally is not in my to go down memory lane here. During college, we occasionally used acoustic couplers. Do you guys know what that means? Ignacy, do you know what that is?
I have no clue.
So you remember the old phones that had like a thing you listen on one side and a thing you talk on the other side, right? The old phones. You would take said phone and put it into earmuffs. Like this,
like suction cup
things, push the button on the computer and it would then dial, the phone. And that's how it would make sure the sound was pure and it got into the computer's modem on old. And the fast modems at the time were like 300 baud. They called it baud, which is like 300 bits per second. Something ridiculous. 300, and then it went to 1200, and then it went to 2400, then it went to 9600, still on a landline using an acoustic coupler oh my God, it's crazy talk. Gentlemen,
I have one more
thing. Go ahead.
So this is breaking news. From Polygon, a Final Fantasy board game is coming out from the designer of Love Letter. And I think that is just a lovely combination.
Seiji Kanai?
Seiji Kanai-san. Yep. I love he's
Seiji
a great
Kanai
guy.
is making Final Fantasy Moogle Bounty Mayhem.
He is amazing designer, so it is a very, very good news.
Yep. Have not heard a lot of news from Seiji Kanai recently, so I'm excited that he's doing a Final Fantasy game.
I played his game last week called Wizard's Cup. Is
Oh, that's right.
on
He did Wizards Cup.
yeah.
That
It's
was
on
great.
Board Game Arena. I played it, then I bought it, then I realized that I bought unfortunately French edition. So now I have a Wizards Cup in French, which is awesome. But nevertheless, great game.
Really great. Everybody, we'll see you next week. Thanks for watching and listening. Bye bye.
Take care.
See you later, everyone.